The Broom Room seems to be demanding my attention. I have made 3 brooms recently. I have more to make, but the first one is just a square toothpick that I cut down to the right size, some paper, and some jewelry wire. I'll show you what we've got. Okay, this is our first broom. Nothing fancy. And the black is just black paper that I cut into thin strips and left the top solid, rolled it around with some glue, and a piece of, like I said, jewelry wire to hold it in place. My second 2 brooms are more traditional. These are just little twigs I found out in the yard that, again, cut down to the size I wanted. A little bit of sandpaper, some string, just a little piece of string here, and believe it or not, rope. Again, I just trimmed it down, glue, wrapped it around, tied the string on. Nothing too incredibly fancy. For the third broom design, I got some fancy cocktail toothpicks. I am going to paint one of these black. The other I'm going to use just a natural wood and probably put just a little bit of some sort of, stain, quote stain, and then do my broom bristles. Okay, for the next step, I am going to lay out my bristles as roughly in line as I can. I'm going to trim them anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect. With my string, glue them, and get them wrapped around the end of my toothpick. probably making, I've made 4. I'll probably make at least, I don't know, maybe I'll make 13 just because it's witchy. But it isn't just going, the Broom Room isn't just going to be a room full of brooms. I am in a Facebook group, miniature Facebook group, and when I first started this, I was completely baffled at what I'm going to do with the Broom Room, because I don't want a room that just has some brooms in it. How boring is that? So I asked if there had any ideas, and very quickly it became apparent that the Broom Room is a garage. It's a room for, you know, transportation things. So it's going to be actually a broom workshop. I'm thinking like it's going to be where people can bring their brooms, they can buy new brooms, they can have their brooms repaired. So I've got a workbench that I bought. I lowered the legs down because it was way too tall. And we're going to have brooms hanging on the walls. We're going to have brooms on the table. We're going to have little barrels with broom handles so someone can come in, get a custom made broom. But before I do all that, I need to add the door that goes into the workshop. And I've started that a little bit now, and I'll show you what I've got so far. So here is what we have so far. Well, this is going to be our counter workbench. I cut it down to go in proportion to our little lady here. You know, she needs a big workspace. And I also found this clock that I think I'm going to hang over here on this wall. Seems to be, you know, a nice big clock. And then my doorway is going to go right here. And I have started it. It's just my foam core with the just regular printer paper glued along the edge to give it a more finished look. And it is going to go right about there, somewhere in that vicinity. So I have to paint this black first and let it dry. I am going to put a door on it. It's not going to be a functioning door, but I think I'm going to just have it cracked open a little bit so you can, you know, enter, exit. And yeah, so we're going to paint that next. Alright, so I gotta let that dry for a while, and maybe I'll make some more brooms. Oh boy. So instead of making brooms while that paint dried, I went and did some dishes like a good girl. But now we're back at it while supper cooks. I'm working on the door for the Broom Room, and all it was that what I showed you before, painted black. And now I have taken some cereal box cardboard, Raisin Bran to be precise, and yeah, I'm covering it to make my wood slats on my wood door. So off we go. together, at least the wood slats, painted, it won't stay that color. I just wanted to get something on it. And I think it needs some black wrought iron banding to hold it together. What about you? So yeah, I think the door came out pretty good. It's just paper and cardboard and glue, basically. The hinge, you can see it, the hinge is a toothpick where I cut the sharp pointy ends off and added little black seed beads. But yeah, I bought quite a long time ago, I bought a little packet of different kinds of paper, and just for a couple bucks. I don't know if I got it at Michael's or Walmart, or I don't know where I got it. It was a while ago. But it's come in handy for some little projects, and yeah, I thought that would be pretty cool. And I'm quite happy with it. And I also have been working on the wall in which it's going to go on. This is going to be the Broom Room wall. Haven't painted it yet, but I will. And on the back side, or the outside, this is the only piece of the outside of the house that I plan on making at this point, but I'm going to do just a wood siding and do it like a weather-worn gray color, because I don't think these witches are going to be paying too much attention to the exterior of their house. But I'm going to do that next, but I have been doing some other little things. Yes, I have been making little potion bottles and canisters for the Witchin' kitchen. I'm going to put a shelf or two or whatever in there. Some of them will sit on the shelf, some of them will sit on the fireplace mantle. Wherever. I'm going to make more, but as you can see, they are teeny tiny as compared to the toothpick, and yeah, that was challenging. I don't think I've ever made anything so small. So this is the biggest of the jars. It is about a centimeter high, and it's just a green pony bead and another small plastic yellow bead. Can't really see it very well, but yeah, and you take a little tiny stick, piece of toothpick, whatever will fit into the two holes, with some glue, glue them together. There you go. And the smallest one is this little guy. I think it's probably a love potion because it's all in red. But again, little tiny seed bead for the cap. I don't know if this is focusing. And then a little red bead with some glue. And a little piece of paper on the bottom to help stand it up. But yeah, these are teeny tiny. I also made a couple other things for the kitchen, but I'll show you those at another time. For now, I think I got to get to work on that wall siding. And now the fun part. We wait for the glue to dry. Right, so there we go. I think it looks pretty cool. I also got the back done. I do have to put some trim along the bottom, but I can't put that in until it's actually installed. So I guess the next step is installation. So I'm going to call that a wrap for this video. We've got all our walls done. We've got all our floors done. The only thing I have left to do structurally that I can think of in this moment is the railing in the ballroom. So I guess that's what we're going to do next. Hope you have a great day, and as always, I'll see you when I see you.